expectations for certifications by Green Building Index or the Green Building Rating that we have developed has surpassed or close to about 100 in less than a year. We have received that numbers within a year. And we've also been able to actually manage to train more than 1,000 professionals in the rating as well. As far as championing the design aspects of the professional services in the participation at the Venice Architecture Biennale that I mentioned earlier, the Trade Development Corporation, MATRID, has basically given us a budget initially. Although not enough for us to actually participate in that exhibition, it has actually given us the confidence to actually move ahead while sorting funding from other sectors basically at the moment. After we have actually managed to actually demonstrate to them that we are able to actually put up the exhibitions in less than 3 or 4 months, they have actually came up to offer a new budget to us. They have actually agreed to take up the cost of the venue, which is a bulk of our budget. They have also decided to take up the advertising and promotion cost for that participation totally by them. And in addition to that, they have actually, because we charge a participation fee for the participation of each architect, they have actually decided to also subsidize that cost for the individual members as well. So these are 2 examples that we have actually encountered so far in the last year.
Thanks, Chewy. Sandra, you would like to say something?
Yes, and I would like to complete the question, and I will tell you what the government gave us, but I also want to tell you what we gave to the government and in which way we contribute with the government. So actually what the government gave us was, I would say, technical support. They were there for us. They put some people and professionals that were there for the questions that we had. But what they really did is they gave us the opportunity and they gave us the place to taste a market that was new for Colombia. And the way that we contribute with the government was because, as at the beginning you say, that we kind of make the same work as the trade support institutions does. There are some markets where those trade support institutions are not working it because it's not a priority for the country. So that's the case in the Chinese market. It's not a priority for Colombia. So we decide to do it. We decide to make the first step, and in that way we contribute to the main goal of the Colombia, which is to achieve growth of the my country's economy.
Thanks, Sandra. Right, any other questions? Yes, at the back, the lady in dark blue and the lady next to her in light blue. Dark blue first.
Thank you very much. My name is Catherine from Ministry of Trade in Kenya. I would like to ask Ms.
You've got Chile, Colombia.
Helena.
Sorry, which one?
Elena.
Elena, Chile, yes.
And Sandra, what challenges they faced in the process of getting integrated between themselves and the government? I would also like to ask Mr. Kikuta to tell us the challenges that East African community is facing in the right of being the countries being in different development. They are not in the same level ground when they're integrating. The integrating partners are not in the level ground. So how have they dealt with the challenge? Thank you.
Okay, I've just got to find out if I can understand those questions. The second one I understood better was that you're asking Mr. Kaguta about the challenges in the East African community. Did you hear the question, Mr. Kaguta? Can you? Okay, could we ask you to reply to that one first? I'll let the other 2 ladies try and digest what was asked of them. We may come back to you and ask you to clarify. Mr. Kaguta?
Well, I understood the question to mean challenges being faced in the EAC because of the different levels of development of the partner states. One, of course, I would say is the fear of domination, the challenge of making the partner states to feel there are benefits emerging from the integration process. And this is because some feel they may be dominated market-wise in terms of lack of competition. I mean, they are not, because of differentiation in the level of development, they feel they may not have the same level to compete across the market. But let me say, we have addressed these through a symmetrical approach, particularly in terms of elimination of the internal tariffs. The countries that were perceived to be of higher development in terms of the industrial sector, they liberalized fast, and those who were perceived to be of lower economic development, they were given time to liberalize within a span of 5 years. So at least we are conscious of that, and we also we try to address this through education in terms of educating the private sector in these other countries that perceive themselves less developed, that integration offers opportunities, and they need to change their corporate strategies so that they can be able to enhance those opportunities. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. Can I just ask the lady in blue, dark blue, just to write your question down for Chile and Colombia, and that somebody bring it to me, please. The lady next to you in light blue, could you, over the microphone, ask your question, please? Please keep your microphone close to your mouth and talk slower rather than faster, because we're struggling with some of the accents. Okay.
Thank you. I just want to, again, thank all of the speakers for a very insightful discussion. My question is actually for Mr. Boone from Malaysia. Very interesting, the two organizations that you spoke about, professional organizations that you've established. And my question relates to the scope of the organization in terms of professional services. You mentioned architects and engineers. Are there other services within the category of professional services that are also part of that? And if there are, can you speak to some of the activities in that area? And if not, can you talk about if that's a future objective, and what are your overall thoughts in that area? And I'm thinking of in particular IT and management consulting services. Thank you.
Thank you. Chewy, you got that?
Yes, I've got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. The two organizations that I mentioned just now, one is actually the Professional Services Development Corporation, and the other one is actually the National Professional Services Export Council. Both are open to all professional service providers organizations. What they do and what activities they do, again, like what I've illustrated just now, depends on the initiatives of the professional groups or organizations. They are open to suggestions and content as well to actually move forward. The NAPSEC, which is the National Professional Services Export Council, for example, which is actually been supported by the MATRADE, which is Malaysia's TFO, basically at the moment, is probably the more active one because they have support of the TFO. Activities other than the one that I mentioned for architects have also covered information technology in terms of outsourcing. I think that's the sector that they are championing now at the moment. They have also gone on to even promote professional chefs in culinary exhibitions as well as shows as well. Professional designers have actually worked with them in fashion shows and exhibitions. That group basically has also organized one exhibition every year so far. I think it has been organizing it for the last 3 or 4 years. It's called the Malaysian Services Exhibition. And so far at the moment, it has actually been concentrated in Dubai as well as Sharjah. So that exhibitions encompass all professional service providers, including education, medical, private hospitals, even tourism as well. So it covers all aspects of professional services.
Thank you, Chewy. Does that answer your question, lady? Yeah. I think in the interest of time, can we have one more question?